Controversial moves I would make if I had to relaunch my entire fitness coaching business from scratch. The first thing is I would not hire a fitness coach mentor in my first year. The reason being is because you really want to prioritize making a trusted community on whatever social media platform you're going to use. Why? Because people are never going to buy from you unless you build their trust first. The mistake I made was I hired a business coach who helped me and promised me my first paid in full client, which was great. It was fantastic. My first year, I made 10K in that month, which was fantastic, but I was just doing all the wrong things. First off, I had no one who trusted me, so when I would get on these sales calls, it just felt so gross because, well, first, they knew nothing about me, so the first 10-15 minutes of that call was just trying to build a rapport. While this business coach was only telling me things that worked for her, so I don't blame her at all, but she was telling me to post things about like weight loss and things that women supposedly only care about, which I've always disagreed with, because if you know my niche, if you see my Instagram, I have surrounded my entire fitness business with helping women build muscle. And when I would tell her about these things, how they're more important to me, she would be like, women don't care about that. They just know that they want to lose weight and that's all that matters. And I always felt in my heart that I completely disagreed with that. It is so much better to build a community, whether you choose Instagram or TikTok, of just posting what you already enjoy doing. If you don't know your niche, that's fine. That's the whole point of posting and just getting yourself out there so you can get out of your comfort zone, practice being in front of the camera, and just get a feel for what you naturally enjoy filming. And if you're gonna hire a mentor, the only mentor I would recommend you hire is somebody who can help you set up systems and foundations, because it was great that I made all this money, but first of all, they were not clients that I would consider my ideal clients. And then second of all, when it came to actually getting clients, it was great, it was exciting, but I had no onboarding process. I had no offboarding process. And it could be as simple as just like a welcome packet, just something that a client can get right away once they paid you. And because you know establishing your presence on social media is going to take some time, it is so much easier to focus your time on just making content, getting yourself out there, because it'll give you the confidence boost that you need. It's going to improve your content editing skills, which down in the long run, it's going to help. Just practice all those small skill sets. And then once you figure out your niche, whatever it is that you enjoy posting, the best part is when you're just focusing on content, you don't have to worry about making sales. You already know it's going to take time to establish what you need to do within whatever your goals are in the next couple years. But just know that it is a huge relief to not have to sell, especially when you're just starting out. The second thing I would do while we're on the topic of social media is just pick one platform to put your focus in. I know it's so easy to just repurpose all your content, but just know that it's going to get really tiring, and just understanding the differences between which platform works the best for certain types of content. So for example, TikTok is really good for posting your everyday vlogs or something that's more on the entertaining level, because the algorithm is so random on there. You will have people who might have just watched one workout video and suddenly your video is now popping up, which isn't a bad thing, but you're less likely to start collecting people who could be your ideal client. Also, when you start focusing on just one platform to focus on, it takes away so much pressure of trying to repurpose your content, editing on certain ones because you can't use some certain lettering, and it just gets to be too overwhelming in my opinion. So if it were up to me, I would 100% just focus on one. I found that Instagram is a little bit more nurturing, so you can get a little bit more out of it. It's more interactive in my opinion, because you can do polls, the engagement little stickers on your story, and it really helps get to know your audience. When it comes to bullies and trolls, just know that there's gonna be a lot more of that on TikTok, because, well, there's even people who make fake accounts just so they can be bullies to other people. Why? I don't know. It's they're bored. Maybe in some world it helps with engagement. I don't know. But I just find that when I'm on Instagram and I'm posting videos, it's a lot easier to traffic my content towards the people who are already watching similar content, so I'm more likely to hit my ideal clients versus TikTok. The third thing is, it's gonna get into a little bit of a sore topic, and it still kind of hurts me to this day, but be prepared to lose friends. Not everybody is going to be cheering for you on your journey. Not everybody wants to see you make it. I mean, there are exceptions to the rule, and if you have like really good friends who have been with you through thick and thin, maybe since like high school, they've seen you grow, there are exceptions to it. But in my case, oh my God, like as soon as I would post content, especially when it was about lifting and all that, I remember to this day, there's this one girl who was just so sour from the beginning. And anytime I posted something, she always had to comment on it. And one time it was just like literally me lifting. I had just done a PR. It was back in my powerlifting days, and I had just did a PR on one of my sumo deadlifts. And she was just like, is all you do is lift? And it's just like, girl, this is a fitness account. Of course, all I do is gonna be posting about lifting. Like back then, I remember being really hurt. I remember overthinking it, and I let it go when my lesson should have been to just block her. The driving force that made me just want to block her was when I was doing like an about me. So I was talking about how I was in school, got my bachelor's, how I met my partner. He was my lab partner for a chemistry class. To this day, I always think it's cute and cliche because it's just like, well, we had chemistry and we were lab partners. And she literally responded to it. She's like, this isn't a cliche at all. Like just pure negativity. And I was just kind of like, okay, like we're done. We're done with this. So I blocked her. And then even the friends that I had in college, it started out great. You know, they were engaging with my content, liking it, leaving comments. But the more successful I got in my business, the less I would hear from them. And it was a very bittersweet thing. I was often called boring because I stopped going out to drink, I stopped going to party, I stopped going to like random events that were like late night in the city because I was so focused on my career. I was pretty much at home on a Friday or Saturday night editing videos, learning how to edit videos, trying to learn from all the mentors that I had hired, all the homework I was doing for it. And I was so preoccupied with my time that those friends stopped inviting me to places. They called me boring just because I didn't want to go out anymore. There's just certain things that your friends right now may not understand, and that's okay. You're gonna find that you're probably gonna outgrow a lot of your friends, whether it's for negative or positive reasons. When I say negative, it could be just pure jealousy. Maybe they didn't want to see you succeed. Maybe they were happy being miserable with you when you were down at your lowest in your life. And then when I say positive, it just means that you guys grew apart, you had different goals. Whatever the case, just be prepared to lose some friends because it's gonna happen and it's going to suck. Fourth tip, I think we're on the fourth. If I got it wrong, I'm gonna put it on the screen to fix that. But be prepared to be alone, okay? You have to get comfortable spending time with yourself because trying to embark on an entrepreneur journey is going to be really lonely. So get comfortable being by yourself, whether that's, you know, spending downtime with yourself or your schedule no longer matching with your friends or just whatever the case. Get used to being alone because you're going to be in front of a computer screen, you know, editing or on your phone trying to figure out how to use certain features for certain editing apps. Like, whatever the case, just get used to being by yourself. No way am I saying that you're gonna be alone forever. Like, no. One of the things that helped me kind of stay in tune with not completely losing myself was I would try to find Facebook groups or I would try to find Instagram groups where they had people get together for certain events. Like for example, for me in Berkeley, they did a Nike Run Club. And while I'm not the best runner, I was still able to connect with some people who were active, who were kind of doing something that was more than just the 9 to 5. It could be something as a Facebook group. I actually found it's something called the East Bay Walking Club, and it's literally just a bunch of girls who get together to go on a walk. Like there's nothing crazy, nothing new. It's just something small, and it helped me make more friends, whether they were a part of the same entrepreneur journey or not. But it does help you socialize. So even if it's just once a week, you find your time only having time to do that, definitely go to those types of events and either make connections, make some friends, or it could just be like a once a week thing where like you're not trying to be best friends with somebody, but it does help feel less lonely because you're doing physical activity, which is also good for you, and then just making new friends. My last tip is when it comes to making content, don't worry about trying to have the best equipment, the best camera. You don't need to go around, if you're gonna record your lifts, you don't need to walk around with a giant bulky camera to get the best lens and the best megapixels. Like, you really don't need that. Truly, all you need is just your phone, prop it against something big like a water bottle. It does not have to be perfect. And I think the best advice I have ever heard to this day is done is better than perfect, because if you're trying to be perfect, you're gonna see yourself just spending hours editing something that doesn't need to be edited. You don't have to do that. You just simply need headphones. If you want a headphone, there are cheap microphones that you could get on Amazon for like 10 bucks where you can just plug in into your phone, and that way it makes your voice quality a little bit better. But at the end of the day, like, you really don't need it. Okay, I know I said that was my last tip, but this is actually my last tip. Don't worry about how you look as a fitness coach when you post about yourself on social media. I used to think that I needed to dress a certain way in order to make myself fit the part of looking like a fitness coach, which meant, you know, like shorts, sports bra, having shredded abs. I thought that that was what would make me look credible, but the reality is no matter how you look, somebody's gonna make fun of you anyway. Like, I have seen plus size fitness trainers who, you know, get spat on because they don't have a shredded look. But they are the most knowledgeable trainers I've ever met. In fact, a lot of my business mentors were not fitting, you know, the image of a fitness coach, but I learned so much from them, and to the point where to this day with my clients, I am still using those same cues that they taught me. So do not base your credibility on how you look. It's okay if you're in the middle of your journey. If anything, that's a good content idea to go off of. You can start it off like day one of trying to be a muscle mommy, or like day one of being a shredded muscle queen, and you can build a community of women who trust you and want to see you on this journey. So that way, when you actually get to the point of wherever it is that you want to be, you can even work to like sell your services. But just know that you don't have to dress a certain way. If what you wear to the gym is just sweats and an oversized t-shirt, and that makes you comfortable to show up for yourself, keep doing that, because guess what? There is a niche for everyone. So you're gonna probably find a lot of other women who are dressing the exact same way, and they will feel so relieved to have another fitness trainer, fitness coach, fitness influencer who is dressing the same and still showing up for themselves every day. Don't be afraid to be a beginner, because guess what? Everybody started from the bottom, from a day one, and they worked their way up. So just like you can continue doing the same thing. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you subscribe, like, leave a comment if you want to know about any other things from my journey, any other things that you want to learn about. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.